welcome to today's class of same topic, that is we are just continuing our dual nature of radiations and photoelectric effect. In last two lectures we have discussed a lot about the concept of photoelectric effect. Now today we will discuss de Broglie waves or matter waves. Now you know it well that when we discuss light phenomena like interference, diffraction and polarization, then we can explain them with the wave nature of light. It is very obvious. But when we discuss the term like the topic like photoelectric effect or Compton effect is not in your syllabus, but that is also you can learn in higher classes. And whenever such phenomena of optics are discussed, then wave nature of light is not explainable. They cannot explain the thing properly, but rather it is the particle nature of light. That means light may have dual nature, particle as well as wave nature. Now, before we discuss, we know that every material particle itself always has dual character, and that is why we call it as matter wave. Because suppose we have our single object like this, if we just make them vibrate like this, you can just see a lot of space it covers, and that makes it a wave. It is a single particle nature, but when it is in motion, then that could create a wave. That means the same thing can have dual characteristic, that is wave as well as particle. Let us study, that is dual nature of matter or de Broglie wave. Now, that is the material particle in motion should display wave-like properties. The wave associated with material particle in motion are called matter wave or de Broglie wave, and their wavelength is called de Broglie wavelength. Whatever we say that whenever we discuss the material particles like electron, proton, neutron, etc., deuteron, etc., then they are all material particles, very clear. And with their motion, we can also associate themselves with a wave type something. You know, you have already heard of electron cloud around the nucleus. What is that cloud? Cloud is not a single particle, but it is a space, and that space is the space around the nucleus is covered by such things, and they are associated with electrons. That means moving electrons can itself create some cloud type situation, which could also be interpreted as a de Broglie wave. Okay, and therefore they are also called as matter wave. We will discuss this as matter wave, and we call them as de Broglie wave. First, we know what is de Broglie equation. Let there be an electromagnetic radiation of frequency nu. This radiation is made up of photon. Naturally, whenever we call electromagnetic radiation, whether it is gamma rays, whether it is X-ray, whether it is ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, whatever we have already seen, microwave, whatever we have seen in electromagnetic radiation, they are all parts of your electromagnetic spectrum, and each spectrum is consisting of some photons, and each photon may have some frequency. Therefore, energy associated with each photon that we have already studied in photoelectric effect is your h nu. Energy of each photon must be equal to your h nu. And now we know that Einstein predicted that if something has some mass, then it must have some energy. And when something has some mass, something has some energy, then mass will also be associated with it. Even if we consider that that is a massless object, but whenever it is in motion, that could also create some mass. That could be attained by the mass energy relationship E equal to mc square. I am repeating it again. What I say, that according to Einstein, that if anything has some mass, then it must have some energy, no doubt. ये पहले भी जानते थे, अब भी आप जानते हो. But if something has only energy, then it must also have some mass, and that is predictable when we call for photon, because photon is a massless energy particles that we have already seen in previous part when we discussed the energy packets of Planck's hypothesis, which can be taken in Einstein's explanation of photoelectric effect. तो आइंस्टीन्स फोटोइलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट में हम लोग ने देखा था कि एनर्जी जो मेटल का गिरता है वो एनर्जी पैकेट्स के फॉर्म में बंच ऑफ पैकेट्स गिरता है. एक एक पैकेट्स में एक एक फोटोन होता है और एक फोटोन का एनर्जी जो होता है h न्यू होता है. एट द सेम टाइम इट इज सेड दैट इट्स रेस्ट मास इज जीरो. That is, whenever photon is stationary, then there is no mass associated with it. But when it acquires some energy, it is in motion. Naturally, it must have some mass also, and that is associated with this mass-energy relationship of Einstein. And if we compare equation 1 and equation 2, we get h nu equal to mc square, or nu can be equal to c by lambda. As a result, h upon lambda equal to mc, and naturally mc is the momentum of the electromagnetic radiation, or what we call, and here we can write lambda equal to h upon mc, that is h upon p. What is p? P is the momentum. P is the momentum of photon here. That means radiation. We are discussing about the radiation, and we have seen it is dual nature of radiation. Okay, dual nature of radiation and matter. That was the topic of the chapter. That was the heading of the chapter, and we are discussing here radiations only, and therefore we can have this type of formula. Lambda equal to h upon mc, that is h upon p, and this is that is Planck constant upon momentum of the photon is your de Broglie wavelength. Now, if something is some material particle is also there, is considered, like electron, proton, etc., there also we can have the formula like this: lambda equal to h upon p, that is lambda equal to mv. It is just material particle with certain mass m and velocity v, and this will also be the de Broglie wavelength of such material particle. Okay, that is de Broglie matter waves wavelength. Okay, now after this we have to remove everything so that we can find out de Broglie wavelength of an electron. Okay, now we will discuss that de Broglie wavelength of an electron. You know, electron is a material particle and its mass is m. Suppose it was initially moving with initial velocity is 0, and after in a particular chamber it is given a potential difference of V, capital V, then the same body can move with a constant velocity V. Same body, the same electron can move with a constant velocity. This is the mass of electron. Initial velocity was 0. Initial velocity was 0. But when electron is given a potential difference V, that is when electron is acted upon by some electric field, then kinetic energy of electron K equal to E into V. This is your equation number 1. Now you know, since it acquires kinetic energy, that means it must have some motion. Therefore, half mv square equal to E into V. Okay, and that means we can very easily have this V square equal to 2EV, 2EV like this, 2EV upon M, and then V must be equal to 2EV upon M. This is what we have, the velocity of the electron. From this the corresponding de Broglie wavelength, of the moving electron lambda equal to h upon p, h upon m into v. H upon m into v is the formula. Then we have h upon m. In place of v we can write it is 2ev upon m. When this m taken inside, we have h upon 2em into v. This is the de Broglie wavelength of an electron. Let us find its value. H is 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34. Within under root we have 2 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Mass of electron is considered to be 9 into 10 to the power minus 31 into V. Although we have taken some approximation like 9.1 is taken, and I have considered as just 9 as our mass of the electron, and there is no change for V. And this when 19 and 31 they club together, we have 150. 150 taken out, that means it becomes 10 to the power minus 25 in the denominator. We are left with 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 upon it is 0.2 into 16 into 9, and this is 10 to the power 25 taken in the numerator, because your 19 plus 31 becomes 10 to the 50. Outside the under root it is 25 minus 25. When it's taken in the numerator, it becomes like this. So how much you get from this? You get around 10 to the power minus 9. Okay, this into V, that remains 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 9 whole upon 4 into 3 under root 0.2 and under root V. This is what we have, and when we have under root 2 means under root 2 can have the value like this 0.20 0.4. That means here we have around 0.44 will be here. 6.6 upon 12 into 0.44 and 1 upon root V, and that much definitely that is in meter into 10 to the power minus 9 is already there. If I just make them this as 12 into this, approximately we get our answer 12.3 into 10 to the power minus 10 upon root V. That means de Broglie wavelength of an electron is around 12.3 upon root V Armstrong. This is a very important derivation, and also almost every 2 years, with a gap of every 2 years, this is asked in the board exam. Therefore, this is very, very important for board also. You can see you might have seen that how we have changed 10 to the power minus 9 into 10 to the minus 10, because if we remove this decimal, then here we have 660 upon 12 into 44, and that is not sufficient to calculate. That could make it around say point something. So in order to avoid that, we get this type of thing as our resultant effect. And with this we have completed this. You can very easily calculate and recalculate, check the calculations made over here. 50, yes, 1.6 is just 0.2. 0.2 is already there. 0.2 means yes, 0.4 into 0.4, yes, 0.44 comes, and this 4 and 3, 12. 12 when we multiply 12 4s are 48, and again 12 4s are 48. That means 5 to 8. 5 to 8 is there in the numerator. In the denominator. In the numerator we have 660. That is 1.2 something will come, and if we take another 0, that makes it 12.3 upon root V. This is the voltage given to the electron. With this we have completed the chapter. Rest of the thing like other division in German experiment which have been there until last year, but this has been removed from the syllabus this year in the revised syllabus. Therefore only this much of thing you have to study in the chapter. With that we have completed this. Thank you.